Jungkook's private messages leaked? Why did Jimin hurt the army through his words? And what did Taehyung hide to make their relationship even more mysterious?
Army, stand by.
It's not just a drama. It's an emotional fight that has never been revealed before. Do you really know Jungkook? Do you still believe that behind his sincere smile, no storm is raging? And when everyone was preparing to welcome the end of his military service, why did Jimin behave coldly, and the words that came out of him even made thousands of soldiers feel destroyed? Is this just an ordinary misunderstanding? Or is this a sign of a huge crack that has been tightly hidden? One message. Just one message. But the impact was like an earthquake that shook the foundations of their friendship. And worse, the message was never meant to be made public. But now, the world knows. And surprisingly, Taehyung turns out to be much more deeply involved than anyone ever imagined. It all started with an anonymous post that appeared in a closed fan community. A screenshot. Run away. Not very clear, but enough to burn the virtual world. The sentence in the message did not say the name, but all knew who the sender was. The style of speech, diction, and expression of spilled emotions. No one can match Jungkook. And the content of the message makes the blood clot. If I have to choose to return not for the sake of the public, but only for you seven, then let me speak from the heart. Those words opened everything.
No preamble.
There is no military code.
No formalities.
Just raw emotion. But the part after that, which left everyone speechless. I know who still considers me a brother, and who pretends just because the world is watching. How so? Who is meant by pretend? Why was this message written in the middle of Jungkook's discharge from his military service? And why did Jimin, of all the members, choose not to warmly welcome Jungkook's return? Many soldiers tried to defend Jimin. Many also questioned his motives. But one thing is undeniable. When all BTS members upload warm or nostalgic sentences, Jimin only writes one short sentence that makes many fans feel slumped. Don't pretend you don't know who changed first. That sentence, only 10 words, but like a sword piercing deep. Who changed? Who's being sarcastic? Is this a reply to Jungkook's message? Or did Jim feel betrayed first? To my surprise, Taehyung didn't say anything. But precisely it makes everything even more confusing. Because a few days earlier, she was seen with Jungkook, not at a formal event, not in the studio, but in a private place that they never shared in the media at all. Are they hiding something? Not only is the army divided, but this emotional atmosphere has touched darker boundaries. One of the sources said that Jungkook's message was not the only one. There is a more poignant continuation. Pieces that have not yet been scattered, but save a very surprising truth. And we managed to get it. And when I left, you all said you would wait. But only one really kept his promise. Others are too busy to be everyone's, but forget who existed before the world worshipped you. Who is meant as the one? Many thought it was Taehyung, but some others believe it was a genie or even RM. But if it's Taehyung, then that explains why the two of them have been getting closer lately. Yet it also means someone of them didn't keep their promise. The army that used to pull itself together is now starting to feel the tension. Some deplored this leak, while others began to question. Is all this real? Is this an internal drama that finally breaks out to the surface due to too long pressing pressure? No less painful was Jungkook's expression when briefly interviewed by a local reporter while exiting his military headquarters. His smile was hollow. His speech was brief. And when asked about BTS, he simply replied, "I miss them. But I've also learned a lot over these 2 years about who's really waiting for you and who's waiting for you only when the cameras are on." That sentence was enough to make the army speechless. This is no ordinary Jungkook. This is Jungkook who has changed. But what changed it? It is rumored that during his mandatory military service, Jungkook wrote a daily journal, which he kept in digital form, an encrypted file that can only be opened by him. But strangely, the file was reportedly leaked to one of HYB's staff, Dan. A certain part of the journal now circulates among small agencies. I end one of his journal entries, he wrote. If I come home and they don't hug me like they used to, I know the answer has been there from the beginning. It sounded like someone who was ready to be disappointed. But did the disappointment really come from Jimin? Many questioned whether Jimin really intended to hurt the army through his words. But there's also a wilder speculation that Jimin actually knew the content of Jungkook's message before it was leaked to the public and felt betrayed by the way it was delivered. Isn't it natural that someone who feels hurt will also respond sharply? The worst part is Taehyung's silence. Not once did he comment on this news. Not on social media. Not on the live stream. Not at a public meeting. But that silence, for most of the army, is precisely a sign that something is being hidden. And most likely, Taehyung knows more than anyone. And here comes the highlight. The last message that has not been revealed publicly, but is said to be the cover of Jungkook's secret message. I know you will either forgive me or hate me. But the important thing this time, I'm not hiding anything. Not anymore. What is meant by not hiding anything? Is this some kind of confession? Is there any truth that Jungkook has kept from the members and now he has finally freed himself? And if so, are Jimin and Taehyung part of the secret? Army around the world is now overshadowed by one big question. Is this the end of the friendship we once adored? Or is this just a new chapter that finally reveals who has been secretly hurt? We will continue to dig deeper. But for now, one thing is certain. The message is real. The emotions are real. And the wounds he left behind were too deep to ignore. When the message began to spread slowly, it was not a big jump. It infiltrates like a whisper of the night that is heard only by those who really pay attention. But when the whisper reached Army's most sensitive ears, it didn't take long for it to become a storm. Within 24 hours, rumors about the contents of Jungkook's secret messages turned into international news among the fanbase, setting fire to forums and causing great unease among fans. However, of all the leaks that have occurred, one thing remains a wedge. Who spread it? An internal source said the message was never sent through a regular app. It was sent via a closed channel, accessible only through the high-level encryption system that HYBE artists used to use when talking about things that shouldn't leak. Then one question arises. Who is the real traitor inside? Is this a sabotage from within the label? Or is it from a person who wants to uncover everything on purpose? Jimin's name became the center of conversation, but not because he spread the message, except for his reaction. Too sharp, too emotional, too reaction, personal. Some fans began to dig back into Jimin's old live broadcasts. They noticed a change in expression when Jungkook's name was mentioned, even as he read comments from fans asking when they would be performing together again. A recording from 2 months ago, which used to look so ordinary, is now being played back thousands of times. In the video, one person wrote, "What if JK comes back and you guys sing a duet again?" Jimin just laughed, then smiled bitterly. And his speech? Not everyone comes back with the same intention. At the time, fans thought it was a joke. But now? The joke sounds like a wound, and then comes one incident that adds oil to the fire. Taehyung is caught on camera wearing a bracelet Jungkook gave him while having dinner with the HYBE director. It's not weird, it should be. But the bracelet. Jungkook had previously mentioned in one of his interviews, "I only give it to someone who is always silent, but knows best when I want to talk." So, is Taehyung the only one Jungkook believes in? Then, where is Jimin's true position in Jungkook's heart? Meanwhile, the army began to compare their old moments. Old videos when Jimin and Jungkook were inseparable, when they joked without scripts, without camera pressure. Then they see their final moments before Jungkook enlists in the army. Looks awkward. Looks cold. And now, the once taboo question begins to be whispered again. Have they ever quarreled? Is there something going on between them that has been hidden for the sake of preserving the image of Seven forever? The most painful, probably not because they quarreled, but because they no longer try to cover it up. While the public is busy guessing, Jungkook reappears. This time in a short video that was not uploaded on any official account, but through the private account of a close friend. In the video, Jungkook appears alone, sitting on a wooden bench, playing the guitar. There are no words, only one old song he picked up, Friends, a song he and Jimin used to sing together. And when the last stanza sounded, his hand stopped plucking. He's just down. Then, in a low voice, he said, "If this song feels foreign now, then I know who went first." The army is crying, not because of that song, but because of the feeling that the sentence brings. The sentence was not about an ordinary breakup. It was a form of loss that wasn't talked about right away, but felt at every break. Some fans began to speculate, is this all to do with each other's solo projects? Do they feel mutually unsupported as they go through there? Like a bolt of lightning that struck in silence, an internal source claiming to be a former staffer under the BTS project revealed something that left ARMY not only speechless, but shivering. In an anonymous statement spread through encrypted messages, the staff wrote, "Jungkook's message is not just an ordinary message. It was a kind of final testimony that he wrote before finally deciding to speed up the end of his military service. He knew there would be consequences, but he already doesn't care. All he wanted was one. I want them to know I'm still here, even though they may have forgotten who I am." The sentence hit the hearts of the fans. How could a Jungkook known as the Golden Magne, who never seems to give up, feel forgotten by a member of what he calls his family? And while the public was still digesting that sentence, another piece of chat appeared that was no less surprising. Allegedly coming from a closed chat room between BTS members, the message indicated a heated conversation between Jungkook and Jimin before his departure to a military camp. I in the chat piece, Jungkook wrote, "I know I'm not your favorite anymore, but at least don't make it look like I never meant it." And Jimin replied, "Mean? Do you think that friendship can be stored in a box? You changed, but you never realized. And you never asked me why I quit." Not just an angry tone, but a disappointed tone that enveloped the message. And that leaves one painful question. Since when did they stop talking as brothers and start avoiding each other as strangers? While the furor was spreading, Jin, who had just finished one of the training sessions for a post-draft special project, finally appeared in front of the camera. Not in live form. Only a short footage he recorded during training when all the lights had already been extinguished. He stood alone in the middle of an empty room and said, "Sometimes we forget that not all wounds heal with time. Sometimes all we need is someone who will listen, not judge." Jin's eyes were glazed. No name was mentioned, but fans knew he was talking about someone. Could it be Jungkook? Or maybe, to all the members who are now blaming each other in silence, that night, the hashtags #ProtectJungkook and #WeMissJungkook again topped Twitter trends. But more than nostalgia for the past, the trend turned into an emotional call. Speak up before it's too late. And as if answering the call, RM finally opened his voice. Through the official Weverse platform, RM wrote a message that was not too long, but "We never promise that we will always be perfect, but we promise never to leave each other." The sentence sparked a wave of new interpretations. Is RM trying to put the tangled threads back together? Or is this an admission that the thread is already too fragile to pull? ARMY began to trace the chronology of the members' relationship secretly. They unearthed small gestures, body language, even the tone of voice from previous videos. In a behind-the-scenes look at the final concert before Jungkook left for the army, Jimin was seen giving a hug to all the members, except Jungkook. And when asked why, he simply said, "We all have our own way of saying goodbye." But it's not just the reactions of the members that are in the spotlight. Some HYB staff also finally began to move in silence. One of the visual production staff who once handled the promotion of Jungkook's solo project revealed that there was a recording session that was suddenly canceled because Jungkook cried for too long and couldn't stop. Even when given a break, he still asks for one thing. "Please, don't shoot the camera. I don't have the strength to pretend today." The speech was never published because it was considered that it could damage the image. But now, all that pain can't be closed anymore. And then, the most unexpected surprise comes from Taehyung. in an interview actually scheduled for a luxury brand advertising promotion.